Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here. Today we got some huge news. So, reportedly, the Redskins are interested in signing star cornerback Logan Ryan. In this video, I'm also going to be giving you guys a few other free agents that I think the Redskins should sign. If you guys are new, subscribe for Redskins and NFL content. So, let's get right into the video. So, it was reported by Redskins Room on Instagram, who is a reliable source. He has about 43,000 followers, or 45,000 followers on Instagram, and is verified. Also, huge shout out to Ed Oliver for letting me know about this. So I'll read what he said. Redskins reportedly interested in Logan Ryan. Getting him on a one-year contract would be a nice band-aid. He set career highs in 2019 in tackles with 113, sacks with 4.5, pass deflections with 18, 4 forced fumbles, and he had 4 interceptions. So he had a really good year last year. And guys, take this with a grain of salt because it is only one person reporting it, and there's a lot of other beat reporters that could be reporting it. But this guy is a reliable source, so I do think he's telling the truth. I don't think he would just make it up, and I think the other Redskins beat reporters are just waiting a while before actually reporting on it. And if this actually happens, guys, it would most likely be a short-term deal, 1 to 3 years in my opinion, and I don't think it would be a $10 million per year deal, which he wanted earlier in free agency. He took too long, he wanted too much money. So now, honestly, I'm thinking it's in that $5 to $9 million dollar range per year, which is a pretty good contract considering a lot of the other cornerbacks like Desmond Trufant and others got huge deals. If you guys look at the Redskins cap space, they have around $35 to $36 million in cap space remaining this season, and that's without cutting. We have almost 90 players on our roster. We're going to have to cut that down to 50, so we'll probably end up having around 45 once we sign all our draft picks. But so we still have a significant amount of cap space, so signing Logan Ryan is not a problem for our team cap space wise. The only question would be, what is he going to play? Because he's primarily a slot cornerback, and we do have Kendall Fuller, who thrived in the slot when he did play in the DC, so he might have to play on the outside or even play a little bit of safety if we get Logan Ryan. But Logan Ryan is pretty versatile, and I do think he could play all over in the secondary. If you look at his stats from last year, they were absolutely crazy. In 2019, I said this earlier, but he played in every single game, started in every single game, had 4 interceptions, returned for 16 yards, also had a pick six in the game against the Patriots, had 18 pass deflections, 4 forced fumbles, 4.5 sacks, 113 tackles, 4 tackles for loss. So played absolutely insane. Was an absolute beast for the Titans last year. His coverage stats weren't amazing. He allowed a 66% completion percentage, which is not the greatest, and allowed an 88.7 pass rating, which that isn't bad at all. But what he brought to the table when it comes to turnovers, he forced 8 turnovers, 4 forced fumbles, and 4 interceptions. So that helps out a lot. And he also can rush the passer a little bit with him having 4.5 sacks last year and 4 sacks the year before. So he kind of played really good in this Tennessee Titans system under Mike Vrabel, and I do think he would do good with the Redskins. Let me know what you guys think about Logan Ryan. And again, I think it would be a short-term deal. I don't know about a one-year deal. Maybe it could be a one-year deal worth up to $10 million. I think it would be a deal with a lot of incentives because we have the leverage, he doesn't. And the thing is, though, with this name change probably going to happen, I don't know if they are going to sign anyone in the next couple days because they got a lot on their plate. We'll see. And also, there's a rumor going around that we have to cut everyone down to 75 or 80 players before training camp, so it'll be hard to sign someone and having to cut a bunch of players. But I think he would help us out a ton if he did play for us. He would probably play on the slot, and that would probably force someone like Kendall Fuller to the outside or free safety, and Jimmy Moreland would probably be on the bench in my opinion, unless he can win that cornerback or outside cornerback spot. So now on to some potential other free agents that I think would be pretty good players that we could sign if it were not for Logan Ryan, at least in the secondary. I would like to go after Darqueze Dennard, who is still... Oh, one more thing about Logan Ryan. He is relatively young, He's 28 years old, but he also is a veteran. He's a two-time Super Bowl champion, so he can help out these cornerbacks and give them some good experience. So now on to Darqueze Dennard, like I said. He's 28 years old, so like Logan Ryan, he's relatively young, but is a veteran, experienced veteran in the league. Last year, he didn't play the best. Well, he played okay. He played in 9 games, started 5 of them, had 5 pass deflections, 37 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. So nothing special. But if you look at his coverage stats, 48.6% completion percentage, and that is absolutely insane. And the year before, he actually had an abysmal 71, not abysmal, but not a great completion percentage, 71%. So he played a lot better this year than last year. Even though he did play less games, I would not be mad if we got him, as he could start, or he could be at the very least some really, really good cornerback depth, because you guys all know our secondary is not the strongest. So we do need some more depth, and especially with the NFC East wide receiver core with CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup in Dallas. You got a bunch of new receivers in Philly, including Jalen Reagor. You got Deshaun Jackson, Alshon Jeffrey, and others. And the Giants don't have bad receivers either, so we do need to help our secondary. And I think Logan Ryan would be better, but Darqueze Dennard would not be bad either. So next is Rashad Jones as a safety. I would not be mad if we signed him to give some competition to Sean Davis. Last year, he didn't play great, but that's just because he only played in 4 games. But he is a 2-time Pro Bowl player, and he has played free safety before. So, for most of his career, he's played free safety. So I think he could do that with the Redskins. Last year, he did allow an 83% completion percentage, but you really can't count that because he only got targeted 12 times. He really didn't play much at all. If you look at his 2018 year, he played in 14 games, had 3 interceptions, and allowed a 56.1% completion percentage and a 66.7 pass rating. That's really, really good for a safety, and I think he would help us out a ton. He also had 72 tackles, not a bad tackler at all. I would not be mad at all if we got Rashad Jones. I think he would help us out a little bit and maybe help develop some other young safeties. Let me know what you guys think about Rashad Jones. Now on to a couple other players on offense. Josh Gordon, I've talked about him a lot, but he has that connection with Scott Turner in Washington because Scott Turner was his wide receiver coach in 2013 when he had the best year of his career and played in 14 games, 1,646 yards. Absolutely insane. 117.6 yards per game, which is absolutely crazy. If you would have played in all 16 games, who knows? You could have had like 1,900 yards. Absolutely insane. And then you guys all know the issues he had, the off-the-field issues he had, which forced him to really miss from 2014 until 2018 because he only played in 5 games in 2 of those years because of those issues. And in 2018, in his first year back, he actually played pretty good at 740 yards, 4 touchdowns, and that's his first year back in the NFL. Took time to adjust, and I think if he had a full year in the NFL, a full offseason program, I honestly think he could be back to 1,000 yards. Last year had about 430 yards, but did only play in 11 games and was injured for a lot of them. That's why he only started 7 of them. So I think he would be a pretty good player if the Redskins wanted to get him. He could play on the outside, kind of has the same body type as someone like AGG, who is, I think, 6'4", 220. So Josh Gordon, 6'3", 225. He can help these young wide receivers like Kelvin Harmon and AGG develop. I think it would be a pretty good signing. It is a little bit risky, but if it's a 1-year deal, I would not be mad with this. Next, Kelvin Beecham could provide some very good tackle depth, and I think he could be a good starter. Last year, he played almost at a Pro Bowl level, and yeah, I think he would be a pretty good player for us. Not going to go too much into it because I've talked about him a lot before, but I think if Sadiq Charles and these other guys, Cornelius Lucas and Jerron Christian, don't look good in camp, the Redskins could potentially sign someone like Kelvin Beecham, Donald Penn, Jason Peters right before the season starts. Keep an eye on that. Next guy is Chris Hogan, another veteran wide receiver that the Redskins could sign if they do need it. If this Cody Latimer situation doesn't get resolved, then I think they will sign a veteran wide receiver. So it would be between Chris Hogan, Josh Gordon, and Demaryius Thomas, Taylor Gabriel, and others. But Chris Hogan didn't have a good year last year, but did play with the Panthers, so he does have that experience under Ron Rivera. So I would not be mad with signing Chris Hogan. It wouldn't be much, but I think he could be a rotational uh, wide receiver that could play maybe get 400 yards. Next player, Delanie Walker. I've talked about Delanie Walker for a while now, but I think he would actually be a pretty good player for us. Last year, he only played a little bit. He played in 7 games, but had about 215 yards, which is not bad, which is close to what Jeremy Sprinkle got, I think. And I think if he played for a full season, I think he could get around 500 yards. Let me know what you guys think. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and we'll see if this Logan Ryan report is true. I'm not sure. I do think this guy is legit. He doesn't really make anything up, and there's no reason for him to do that. And let me know if you guys would like to sign Logan Ryan. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and peace.